All right, my name is Jenny Green. I am the Science Department Chair at Kennedy High School, and sorry I couldn't be there today, but I had something else that came up, but I'm trying to be part of helping between the schools. So I'm going to tell you what we've done in Science Department, specifically more biology, but you can also use it, some of our other teachers use it in some of the physical science, but it could also be used in history as well as English. So what you're going to get today, we have two pieces here. One is a claim sheet, and we also have a claim counterclaim sheet as well, but we tend to use just the claim sheet, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then we have a technical writing rubric that our department developed. It's based on the Common Core content standards for science, but it's based, all of the curriculum has this because it's basically evidence-based. In science, we're looking to be more evidence-based and supporting our answers or using data, etc. So how we use this, for instance, this graphic organizer, one of the projects we do with my biology students is a Yellowstone National Park project, and should the wolves be kicked out of Yellowstone or not. So my students have to read lots of simplified articles that we find online, either periodicals or Science Daily or whatever, and they have to read through them and find evidence to either support for or against why the wolf should stay. We've also learned the biology behind it, so they have to use the science in it as well as. This is broken down to, they write what their claim is, and then they proceed to tell me should the wolf stay or not. So the background info is the first part, should the wolf stay or not, and then the three pieces of evidence on why the wolf should stay or leave. And then we have a box for each piece of evidence with a little descriptor in there that says basically, is this the second best piece of evidence, the best piece of evidence, the worst piece of evidence, and then the best piece of evidence. And so students have to learn how to, which is the difficult part, deciding which pieces are the best and which ones aren't so much. And we're trying to work with our English department with that, so students can learn how to master best pieces of evidence. But essentially that's it, and then writing a summary about what they've learned about their pieces. And then we have a rubric that we use to grade it. The rubric, you can pick certain things to focus on, or you can focus on all of it. The rubric was set up, again, Common Core standards from 8th grade to senior level. And even though we have freshmen using this, we are trying to set them up to be successful so that by the time they're seniors, they really write well. So I do have expectations, especially of my honors bio, to get to a level 5 writing, and their level of vocabulary, etc., isn't necessarily high, but the actual evidence and how they present it, I expect them to get there. So we have to do some practice, some rewriting, some peer editing when we do this. They score themselves, and so we've gone through the rubric and explained it to the students, and they use it and peer edit themselves. And most of them have a pretty good idea. The hardest thing for them probably is citing evidence and doing where they have the piece of evidence, they state how it ties back into their theme, or they're explaining it. So there's a technique, I guess, that they use in English. I forget what the terminology is, the 3 steps, but we use those 3 steps in science as well. You could use the rubric and the graphic organizer in physics or chem if you wanted to take actual data points from your table supporting different theories or laws, etc. Or you could use it in history. So I was thinking, like, because I work a lot with 10th graders, so world history, one of the things is looking at democracy in the different cultures. So your claim would be democracy exists in these levels or something like that, and you could find pieces of evidence either through notes, through videos, through secondary sources or primary documents that support democracy being found and how so. So it's kind of like you can use that as more of a culminating activity. Generally speaking, and then you can use the rubric however you want for whichever pieces, and that's pretty much what we do for text. We don't have as much we don't have as much of a place for opinion papers until we get to genetics, but because most of ours is factual based. I mean, there's not even in our textbook, it's just fact. It's like, here's this process. So we try, it's hard for us to use our actual textbook to find evidence. Sometimes we can if we're talking about a topic that is important to society or something like that. We can use the text to back up the science behind it, but we tend to use the closed readings and the textual readings on actual primary documents from different sources. Okay, so I hope this is helpful for you. If you have any questions, my team has my email, and I'd be happy to share these with you or any other ideas if you have any. Thanks.